Hello, this is a strong woman of the Power of Humony podcast. So I'm Adriana Fuentes, co-host and award-winning author of the series of Strong Women books and international speaker. Hello, Stephen. Welcome to this podcast.
Thank you, Adriana. I'm Stephen Howard. I'm pleased to be the creator of Humany Mindset and the co-host of this podcast. Like Adriana, I also give keynote speeches. My topic is obviously around Humany Mindset. And like Adriana, I am also a writing coach. I help writers become published authors. Adriana, the roots of this show go back to a series of interviews you did last year on the Global TV network. Can you share with the audience the background of those shows you did last year?
Yes, definitely. We have two different shows in 2025 in TV network. And the two shows, one, the title is Strong Woman Overcoming Life Challenges, and the other one, Strong Woman Talk About Workplace Challenges. I really enjoy doing this podcast, interviewing very interesting women from different sectors, different professions. And I can tell you, Stephen, that definitely there were very powerful conversation with women who I can say that experience these challenges every day, like both professional and personal. So I really enjoyed it and was a very experience for me doing these shows.
Wow, those sound like fabulous shows. What were some of the highlights that you talked about in those shows?
We talk about menopause and myths, very interesting topic for me today, and visibility and health at work, how women are forced into silence about menopause and the workplace. In my perspective, loses talent with some leaderships. But yeah, these two topics that were like some of the topics that we talk in both podcasts.
Wow, I coach a lot of leaders, Adriana, and there's no doubt in my mind that leaders in the workplace, both men and women, need to know more about menopause and how to talk about it in the workplace, how to understand how it affects women in the workplace. But I really think men need to have a better understanding of menopause and what women go through during this transitional phase. What are a couple of things in your mind that leaders could do to make the workplace more comfortable for women as they go through both perimenopause and menopause?
Interesting question, Stephen. Definitely, first, normalizing the conversation around perimenopause and menopause. Of course, learning more about that. This is so important. Education, it is so important, this stage of women life. Reducing stigma, definitely through education and dialogue. And they can also offer, from my point of view, some flexible work options such an adjustable, like sketchable remote work and even temperature control in the offices. So uh, I think, with that little things can help us because I'm in my perimenopause right now, and definitely sometimes I don't feel, 100% good, or in the afternoon I don't have the energy that, I would like to have to work. So first understanding, this, what is a really perimenopause and menopause and what is happening in our life, and then just be able to understand many things regarding to this women's stage.
Wow, it sounds like communication is the key. And, which is not surprising since both you and I believe communication is the foundation of all relationships, whether they're work related, friendships, partner love relationships, whatever. You told me earlier that you talked a lot about communication in those broadcasts with Global TV Network. What were some of the key points regarding communications that you discussed in those previous shows?
I always say that it's incredible that in today's world, with just one click, we can connect from any other country around the world. We have so many devices, we have all the technology to communicate with people. And for me, humans, today, that's so difficult for them to communicate. They don't know how to communicate with their couples, with their kids, with their bosses, colleagues, parents. That's today's problem that, it's incredible to say that. And what I talk about in some of the podcasts is how it is important to have honest communication, active listening. It is so important also. Creative, safer spaces for dialogue, and especially encourage clarity and empathy, especially to prevent misunderstanding with whoever we talk. Same thing, couples, kids, colleagues, bosses. So communication is really a skill that all humans being we should focus on.
I couldn't agree more, but that sounds like a nice mix of topics related to both the personal and professional lives of women. Well done.
Thank you. Yes, and that's why I came with this idea to combine, the important topic with your concept about humany mindset. When I read your book, Stephen, I really enjoyed reading your book, and I found fascinating. So this relevant reading for me. And so please, Stephen, share with us more about this humany concept.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm kind of proud of it. I created the word humany. You won't find it in the dictionary. And I created humany, Humony, by combining three words: human, humanity, and harmony. And I define humany, or what I call the humany mindset, as the practice of treating all human beings with peacefulness, compassion, kindness, and respect. And those are the four foundational elements of the humany mindset: being for ourselves, being peaceful, being compassionate with ourselves and with others, being kind to ourselves and with others, and respecting ourselves and respecting others.
You know what? The world is so chaotic today. When I watch the news on TV, or when I'm driving and listen different radio station, wow, all you can hear is bad news, powered word, hate. So I think we really need to go back to the basic of being kind and respectful with one another. Definitely this book and this concept, I think we can help us a lot to understand and be more kind, especially.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And we need strong women to lead this way, because many of those aspects of humanity are more feminine characteristics than masculine, particularly in certain parts of the world, particularly a part of the world you live in, Latin America, which is very more of a macho culture. But there's a lot we can learn from strong women throughout history, and both from the quotes that you share in your books and from their accomplishments. I'm pleased to tell our audience a regular segment of this show is going to be celebrating women's achievements. So, Adriana, what achievements and milestones in the history of women will we be celebrating over the next 2 weeks?
Here are a few, Stephen. The first of which will be hard to believe, but it shows how far we have, come in recognizing the importance of equality for women. So let's start with a few of them. Emma Goldman, cruiser for women's rights and social justice, arrested in New York City for distributing materials about birth control in 1916. Incredible. Julia Childs, the French chef, debuted on television, creating the cooking world first TV star in 1963. Also, for February 12th, Joanna Geraldi became first woman to lead a major U.S. airline as CEO of JetBlue in 2024. For February 15, women rights activist Susan Anthony, born in 1820. And also for February 15, Disney's Cinderella opens in theater in 1950. For February 18, Janet Gaynor wins the first Best Actress Academy Award in 1929. For February 19, Jennifer Doudna just won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2020. And then The Feminine Mystique by Betty Friedan was published in 1963. In February 20, Rihanna, born in 1988. And at age of 15, Tara Lipski becomes the youngest Winter Olympic Games figure skating gold medalist in 1998. So for February 22nd, Barbara Turubin becomes the first female jockey to win a race at a US in 1969. And for the last one, in February 24, Katherine Johnson, the NASA Hidden Figures mathematician, dies in 2020. And Grammy-winning R&B singer Roberta Flack, best known for her song Killing Me Softly, dies in 2025.
Wow, that's a lot to celebrate in the coming weeks. As a man, I don't feel that we as a society do enough to showcase the accomplishments of women, both historically and over time, or even in our own time. So thank you, Adriana, for sharing that. Before we move on, I have some celebration days on the horizon over the next week about things we can all celebrate. So starting with on February 11th that's today, International Day of Women and Girls in Science. That's a great thing we should celebrate. Women and girls in science, technology. Wonderful. It's also Make a Friend Day. So if you're watching this, go out and make a friend today. February 13th is now called Galentine's Day. Shoot off of Valentine's Day. It's a day for women to go out and celebrate with each other, to show their friendship and support for one another. Well, Adriana and I love this International Book Giving Day on February 14th. So not only is it Valentine's Day, but it's Book Giving Day. So make sure you give some of you a love or a friend a book on that day. And on February 17th is Random Acts of Kindness Day, which of course is very dear to my heart because kindness is a key aspect of Humony and the power of Humony, as is humility. And February the 22nd is Be Humble Day. And most importantly, as you're watching this, think about this. The week of February 14th to 20th is Random Acts of Kindness Day. So go out, pay it forward, do some random acts of kindness with each other. I have a concept called the Power of Five, which we'll talk about in another podcast. You do 5 random acts of kindness, and that can escalate to over 3,100 people being indirectly impacted by your random acts of kindness. So February 14th to February 20th, go out and perform all these wonderful acts of kindness. Adriana, as I watched your 3 interviews on Global TV TalkShow, I found many of the messages and thoughts that you shared and your guests shared, greatly complemented my Humany Mindset message. And that's why, I was very, very pleased when you invited me to co-host this program with you. Could you share with us a couple of those messages and from those shows and why you feel they're really important now that 2026 is fully underway?
Okay, yes, Stephen. I mean, these 3 topics for me, they were so interesting to talk about. And from one of them, from burnout to some sustainability, why success can no longer be measured by productivity or titles. Also, well-being as a leadership responsibility, how leaders, women and men, shape workplace culture through empathy, boundaries, and example. And I think example should be one of the most important. And then complementary leadership and action. I don't think women and men, we should be fighting for titles or position, in the workplace. I think we complement each other so well.
I love that. I guess that's also part of my Humany Mindset concept that we're all human beings. We shouldn't be fighting. We shouldn't be competing with each other. We should be helping each other. Hey, listen, before you share the other 2 topics with us, another regular segment of this show will be to highlight motivational and inspirational quotes from women. So I asked you to bring 3 quotes with you to share with our audience. So are you ready to do that now?
Yeah, of course. Okay, I will share with you these quotes of success from my first book, When a Strong Woman Speaks, a Strong Woman Listen. So I just love these 3 quotes. The first one is from Coco Chanel. Success is most often achieved by those who don't know the failure is inevitable. And then the second one from Joyce Brothers, success is a state of mind. If you want success, Start thinking of yourself as a success. And the third one from Helen Keller, your success and happiness lies in you. Resolve to keep happy, and your joy and your shell form an invisible host against difficulties.
Excellent words of wisdom, all very relevant to women and men today. Before we close this first show, Adriana, what are two other key messages that you have for our audience, particularly women, as we head into the remainder of 2026?
Well, Stephen, first, trust your voice and advocate yourself, your perspective, and also your experience. And second, prioritize growth with intention. And I will say, always invest in your skills, your health, and your networks because sustainable success from alignment and especially not from burnout.
I love that. Outstanding messages. How will those play into our future Strong Women and the Power of Humany shows? Tell the audience what's coming up next.
Oh, wow. We have very nice next shows, Women and Finances. And in March, we'll do a special show related to International Women Day. And the theme, I love the theme, is Give to Gain. We'll have a special guest. It's a HR director lady from a big company in Mexico City. We'll have definitely very special surprises for all our audience.
Wow, exciting. I can't wait for those conversations.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yes, thank you. And please reach out to either of us with your ideas, thoughts, or questions for the show. We'd love to hear from you. And of course, kindly follow both of us on YouTube and Instagram. You see it on the screen there. Adriana's YouTube is all about Strong Women 2026. Please subscribe. Our Instagram, El Mundo de Adriana Fuentes Diaz. And my YouTube is at Humony Mindset, and my Instagram is the same, at Humony Mindset. Have a great show for you in 2 weeks' time. Once again, thank you very much. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time with another episode of Strong Women and the Power of Humany.